And my company has just launched an affiliate program. Right now, I'm recording a live while I bring it to the internet because I believe this is going to be what makes me blow out of the water. I am not a sell one to one person, or when it comes to like a timeline of people, but I'm a sell one to one person when it comes to building a relationship and building trust. And I believe that if I, one, utilize the tools that are at my hand to reach large mass amount of people at one moment, such as YouTube Live, TikTok Live, Instagram Live, all of that, like the strangers of the world. And I utilize those tools with my same small town girl energy that I have that is able to build trust and lifelong relationships with people and clientele. Then I really believe I am going to make so much money through other people, almost like Avon Arbonne energy. That's my goal. If you guys aren't familiar with Avon Arbonne, and like Pampered Chef and whatnot, search those companies up and see how they have kind of gotten to where they are. The other day, I was watching a documentary with my partner, and we were watching how Supreme blew up. And Supreme utilized their rareness and exclusivity and getting influencers that people didn't really know of but had niche audience and skateboarding, etc., to kind of grow up. And also, their company was becoming known, their store, for not selling to just anybody that came in the store. When they would just walk in, they had like a limit on how much they were selling. So what Supreme had did though too, the workers, how they had really blown up this brand's footprint when the brand was only exclusive to like this location. They started working with buyers that were coming and trying to buy up. They were upcharging them and taking money over the top to line their pockets, but their quote was no harm to anybody here. They were doing this in a way to make commission off the top of the sales. So with that mindset, they had money coming in that wasn't coming from their CEO's pocket. The CEO is still making buku amount of money, but then on top of it, that CEO is now being, interest, like there's interest growing in other countries that they weren't selling in. You know what I mean? This kind of opened up my mind the other day. I was like, okay, I like that, because for me, here's always been my concept when I first was like, I want to run a business, all right? 2000, I think it was like 16. I was like, I knew content creation, I knew online sales, I knew YouTube. That was what I knew. Those were like my air, my lungs, my facts. But then when I tried to just start with YouTube, I was not happy. If you go back, there are some videos and you could see how shy I was and all that. I just wasn't comfortable on camera. But I was always comfortable taking photos and doing Instagram. I was comfortable talking like I do on Facebook and Twitter. I was comfortable there, but it was like the video hardcore aspect that comes to YouTube was just not comfortable for me yet. And then I did kind of break out into that when I was living in my car on the road and I started doing like a car tour concept. Then I broke out and I was like, okay, I could do this. But then it just was like, I wasn't ready to put that much of my life on a daily vlog. So when TikTok came along, I jumped into TikTok late, about like late 2020, early 2021, but I just wasn't fully into it. Like it was too much, too much noise, too much people, too much stimulation, that I struggled like to really find a routine in there when it came to posting right away. But then once I started consuming it and I understood more, I was like, okay, I got you. So now where I'm at with TikTok, I love posting on TikTok all day long. That to my timeline, I love it. I love responding to comments now with videos. I'm like really engulfed with playing the game because I have some real traction moving with numbers in the back end, but also building a community over there. Because of the way the algorithm is, you can get an influx of certain people for a specific topic. With me, because my content went from me being just so very open and caring and happy and la 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 and had a baby, to like, oh my, just my baby and I lost custody, to a narcissist and he's running around the country with my baby, I brought in a lot of women that have gone through custody issues and, you know, have all this trauma and experience that like sets a fire under me when it comes to like fighting for my child and in and out of court and putting like my foot down. Like whatever you thought them moms was coming with, baby, I'm coming with 30,000 times more because I'm gonna vlog it all on fucking TikTok too. You know, like it set this fire under me there. But then also the narcissistic algorithm that came along is bringing out so many very young narcissistic ass people that I don't think they see what they're doing. And so I'm like not just completely icing them out of my page. I don't like to just block somebody because I don't agree with them. But I'm also highlighting the lack of research people will do on not only just a given topic, but engaging with content past the being able to argue with it. That's what makes TikTok thrive, and TikTok knows that. You're just not allowed to argue back. And I'm starting to like, you know, build out my new way of arguing now back with people is I just turn them into an ad. So TikTok for me is like a billboard now. It's not a safe space of documenting too much, but YouTube has always been a safe space to document. You know, like this is where you put that documentation. And I want to get back to vlogging and being on live and growing on a page over here. However, I need to like engage with it more on a day-to-day. But coming over here, engaging as a content creator and a businesswoman has always been comfortable for me because I know that my YouTube video live that is going to be up will still be viewed. You know, it's not the same as like my lives being almost wasted on TikTok. Like I sit there on a live and it disappears unless I save it. And then when I save it, I got to post it and nobody's doing all that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. A YouTube live is completely different. A YouTube live can almost be like a seminar. So with that being said, I've rambled for 7 minutes. I've gotten my algorithm warmed up for my keywords and it's going to know who it's going to send to me. I want to actually talk about how I have just relaunched a brand that I've been building for years. This, if you followed me back when I lived in my car and I said I did graphic design, I came up with Garbage Graphics. Right now, I need to actually work on the website. So as I work on my website, I'm going to talk about how I developed Garbage Graphics. And then I'm going to cover how, you know, my digital products that I use, my planning system I've turned into digital products. I've turned into digital downloads. I've turned into an infinite stream of income and also an infinite flow of employees that are not employees that are able to make me money and make me sales in my sleep while making 30% commission that goes up for them as they raise their sales. But I don't have to talk to every single person. You don't have to talk to me. You don't got to like me. But you have an opportunity to make money by sending somebody to the first. There is no ClickUp template store. But also, I sell digital stationery. So for the GoodNotes user, the Milanote user, the Notion user, the ClickUp user, the Asana user, I'm building a hub of things you never even thought you needed. And that is why it's going to come great from affiliates, because the affiliate that never thought they needed it is going to talk about how they use it, and they're going to sell it, and they're going to make money, and then talk about how they never thought they were going to make money selling something like this because it made no sense when they signed up. And that's what I want. I want the people. Your job makes no sense when you start working it. School's not making no sense when you start it. That relationship makes no sense when you start it, etc. And I was saying this to my partner yesterday. A big reason why I cannot sell my planner templates to anyone that is not a content creator, first of all, or mother, is because it's very hard for me to relate to them in a way to tell them, like, just tell me what you don't do in your day-to-day life and I can tell you exactly what you need. And that's how I can sell to people who want to sell it. Like, what is your issues with planning? Where do you struggle with planning? Because then I'm able to tell you exactly where to start and how much you could put on, how much you could take on your plate. And I can give that to you in 3 fucking seconds. You get what I'm saying? Like, we could do that in 3 seconds. But people don't ever like to ask questions. So that's why I stopped doing it in a live stream format, unless it's YouTube and I'm uploading it here. You following? So let's move on to my website. So right now, one thing I'm about to change on my website is going to be this landing page here. I have a couple buttons that all go to my other website, and that's just for like this scroll concept, etc. There's a petition for the referee that has my child left in Arizona right now, and whose fault it is down there at the bottom. There's also some other links, etc. But I need it to have my affiliate link and then shop my store. So that's the first thing I'm going to change. I'm going to need this one open, and I need this one open, because that's where my little logos are going to be. Now, I don't know. Do I want them to stand out? See, I love the way these look and whatnot. I love the way these look. And I feel like the more traction my website gets on a day-to-day basis where people are going, they will read, they will stay, they will come back, they will have content. I cannot upload content showing even nowhere near at the rate that is necessary. So I think what we're gonna do is, all right, I'm gonna move you down here and you, because you are transparent. Okay. Now you are gonna come up. I have live stream consultations. Okay, so now that that's done, my next buttons are gonna be over top of it, and I want them. Does mine? Wait, let me see something. Okay, we got add a group. Alright, do 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 do. I want to resize this. I've never noticed that this photo was like that, and that's going to drive me crazy, but it's apparently just going to have to rock out. And then that's going to link directly to my Shopify store. And then I need to update this in my TikTok bio as soon as I'm done. Okay, so now that's been updated. And then we got affiliate program. And I'll probably change these later, the logos. But just for now, I'll just leave them done. Okay, here we go. And now, come back over here. And then see if that's saved. Come on. It is hot outside today. Dang. I guess I did not think that part through, huh? Okay. That's cool. Um, I'm gonna pull this down.